My name is Ashley Goodwin, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ashley, what has been one of the most challenging things that you've experienced or are currently experiencing?
Um, I would have to say the most challenging thing that I've experienced in my life was the loss of my little brother when I was around 11 years old. And yeah, it affected almost, and I like to say it watermarks everything that has happened to me ever since. So my brother was born in 2000, and I was, I guess, 10, going on 11 at the time. And I was an only child pretty much up until that point. And he was my stepbrother. So it was interesting going from being an only child to having a brother, but I was excited about it. Because I guess my mother always tells me that I always asked for a sibling, like a friend, because I was always by myself. So I was really very excited about it. And when he was 4 months old, he was diagnosed with leukemia. And when he was a year and a half old, he passed away. So in that time, though it was a short time, he made a huge impact, not only on like our family, but the people in the community around us. I have a lot of home movies. I have like about 8 hours of like archival footage, I would like to call it, because as soon as they found out that he was sick, the camera didn't stop rolling. My stepdad at the time, Michael, was very adamant about like making sure everything was documented. And I think that in and of itself, like the camera always being on, really affected me in what I chose to do with my life, which was be a documentarian. And that being one of my this whole ordeal being like one of my first films. So I think that has helped watermark, my life in a way, and also like has helped me to grow as a person, but also holds me back from time to time. I remember being at school. I was in middle school at the time, and my stepdad came to pick me up. And he didn't even have to really say anything. He just was in there. He was just there. And, no one, trust me, like September 11th happened. My mother didn't, I called her and I was like, should I come home? Like, should you come pick me up from school? She's like, you're fine. Like, you're okay. So I always know, I always knew that if someone was coming to pick me up from school, it wasn't going to be the happiest of things, the happiest of reasons. So he came and he got me. And I remember the moment of just like driving in the car home, like going into the house, and my whole family was there, and they hadn't called the ambulance yet. And so my mom was, sitting there with him, and it was just very super traumatic. It's very strange. It's like it is a movie. It is like very movie-like in a way. And everything's so memorable. Like moments like that are just, you remember everything it looked like, sounds, smells, colors. It was very weird. I mean, it's interesting to see how people grieve differently. I think that is like what I've taken most from the whole experience is how people choose to deal with the struggles and whatever plight you're experiencing at any time in different ways. For my mother, it was at the time, it's crazy, and I always think about this and it's nuts to me. She lost my brother but was pregnant with my sister at the time. So not only did she have to keep going for herself as her own human being, but for the one that she had inside of her, and that's incredible. She's the strongest person I know, and I give her a lot of shit sometimes, for sure, and we get in fights and we disagree, but at the end of the day, she's incredible. Can't imagine doing that, and for her it was really hard, but she really pushed through it. She's the one person in my life that no matter what, to a fault almost, is just keep going 90 miles an hour in the direction of the right thing, and sometimes that gets frustrating because I don't want to get out of bed some days, but you have to keep going. And so she's definitely been a real inspiration, and she dealt with it that very specific way of just continue to go, like, life is worth living, like, there's so many beautiful things, especially the thing that I'm working on right now, you know, that must have been her mentality, I'm sure. And so she kept going. So like I said, I think that the thing that I get out of this the most, and when I talk about it, is that people deal with things differently. Like, you can't expect everyone, like, and sometimes I get frustrated, like if I'm talking to a friend or if someone's going through something hard, I don't have trouble empathizing because of this. I have no problem empathizing almost to a fault with people. But because I've seen someone like my mother push through a loss of a child to go on to do, like, good things with her life, that it's hard for me to not want to shake someone, be like, no, get off the couch, please help yourself. Because when it comes down to it, you can't really save anyone. You can only help, but they have to be willing to help themselves first.
Do you think that it's possible that by sharing your experiences, as painful as they may have been, that you could potentially inspire someone else, or give them some courage or some hope that they're not alone in whatever challenges they're facing?
100%. I definitely think that. I think that was the point in making the film that I made. I wanted, one of my goals with the film was to send it to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and hopefully they could show it for free, like, just show people like this experience, and hopefully people would see that it wasn't just this happened, it was very tragic, and now everyone's fine. Like, no, it shows two sides of the story, and even three if you're counting mine, of, like, one where it was really negative, one really positive, and one not. I don't know if we figured it out yet, or if I figured it out yet. So I think that sharing that was really important to me, is really important to me, because, like, I know how good it feels on a very simple level. I know how good it feels when someone can relate to me about a loss, especially if someone had the loss around the age that I had the loss. I remember being on, like, a first date with someone who lost his mother around the same age as me. And, like, you know, you're on a first date with a girl, your intention isn't probably to cry and to open up in that way, but we both cried, and we shared this moment, and I still have such a strong relationship and connection to that person, and that's never going to change. And I think that it's really important, and it makes people feel like they're not alone.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.